Hello everyone, very good day to you all. So this is our lesson number 52 in the Excel learning series, and from this lesson onwards I'm going to start about pivot tables. So far in around 5 lessons we talked about tables, and now we are moving to pivot tables. Okay, so today is the first part of the pivot table. In this lesson I'm going to talk about the introduction or the concept about pivot tables. So first of all, my dear friends, we need to make sure that our data are complete and arranged and organized. So when I say our data should be well organized, so under the headings we should not have blanks like this. In between there shouldn't be any blanks. So under the heading, so here you can see this field, the heading is blank for this column. So you can't do pivot tables without the headings. It will not be meaningful even though you convert this into a table, because with this, if you convert to a table, what will happen to this column? So we'll see that. See, automatically it's adding just a name as column 1. So likewise you will see column 1, 2, 3. So when you when you design the pivot table, when you see column 1, it is meaningless. The people who are using the analysis using pivot table will not understand what is the meaning behind that. So therefore it is really important to make sure that your headings are there, related to your data, related to your columns in your table. Okay, so let me convert to a normal range. So these lessons we covered when you talk about tables, right? Let me remove all the colors just for our understanding. Okay, so therefore name it if you have any blank headings. This is the type. And then let's please focus on the amount columns. If you have in your data area, make sure that this the amount column is in correct format. Either it is in currency or with a numeric or number format, right? So it's very important, because when you are creating the pivot tables, this field is going to sum up. We are going to do a lot of things using this field, so therefore it's very important. So keep in mind that, right? And then the best practice is convert your data into a table before you start creating the pivot table, right? Very important, because we talk about why it is important in our last lesson about tables, right? So my friends, how to do that? As I already did here, you can use Ctrl T, or you can go to insert table. So let's use Ctrl T. My headers has my table has headers. Yes, okay. Now I have my table. So remember to do this before you start doing the pivot table, right? So then let me go to the already created pivot table, but don't worry about this. We will learn how to create these things. I'm just trying to explain you the concepts, right? So in the pivot table, there are a few things that we need to understand better. So when you go into the pivot table, you will see the pivot table tools under the menus, and these are the two things that we are going to use frequently in order to arrange and in order to analyze, format our pivot table, right? So the first one is the analyze, and the second one is the design. So the design is very simple, easy to understand. That is about our pivot table styles. You can switch to whatever the style that you like to have. And here it is about the table styles. So row headers, it's like some kind of formatting your area. The column headers, you can see the column headers are not highlighting, so when I am untick that, and then the branded rows, branded columns, so likewise you know about those things very well, I guess. And then this is about layouts, how we want to have our reports looks like, right? So let's discuss those things later when we are working on the pivot tables, but keep in mind that we can change the layout, right? We can remove the grand totals, we can add the totals, so likewise, right? And then under the analyze, so I'm not going to go through all those options, but I wanted to show you about these things. Show, this is about the field list. Field list is this one. If we tick on it, then it will remove from the window. If you want to add it back, then we just need to click on it. Sometimes you may have difficulties to find how can I get the table list, right? So what is this pivot table fields? Actually, these are the headings in your columns in the table area. So these date, buyer, type, amount, your column headings under the pivot table field, the top part. And then we have these 4 sections: field area, columns, values, rows, right? Let me add a column here in order to show that to you, right? So you can see now the information, and also let me do a small thing. Alright, wonderful. Now you can see how we identify filters in your table, pivot table. This is filter area, right? This is filter area where you can filter. And this is the sum, the value. This value area is this one, okay? And then the columns, this is the column area, right? And this is the rows, row area. Those are the main areas coming under pivot table. And also we can see the grand total and also the subtotals here, right? Okay, and then you have these plus and minus buttons. So that means our summaries, expand and collapse. If you don't want to see them, you can just untick. If you want to see them, you can click it back. And then this is about field headers. You can see it's indicating column labels, row labels. Those are our field headers. If you don't want to see that, then you can by clicking it, it will not be displayed, right? So like that. So those are very important things that you need to understand before we start doing the creation of your table, and before we are going to understand more on this, right? And also we can format, I mean we can change the display of the pivot table fields by using this. So we are in this default one, field section and area section stacked. If you go this, it will be side by side like this. So like that, there are few options. Try it out and use whatever the suitable option for you. Okay my friends, so this is the introduction, and this is about concept, the basic concept, before we start creating and go into deep. Hope this is helpful to you. Looking forward to meet you with the second lesson of pivot table. Thank you very much for watching this. Please share as much as possible to multiply the knowledge. God bless you all.